Hey everybody, welcome back to another iiRcade Gamedaze Live. I'm your host, Michael, executive producer here at iiRcade. Let's get into it. Happy Friday. Good to have everybody back here too. Not too much, not a whole lot going on today, right? But we do have some news, of course, too. We did release a pretty major software update too, which is fun. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. 2 more games today, 3 more games online enabled too. So we'll go over some other stuff like that too, a little bit later here too. Pretty short show though, honestly, not too much more than that too. Not too much exciting in the forefront going on right now too. Everything's kind of in the back right now. So that's kind of what's going on right now here at iiRcade. There's a lot of different projects that we work on nonstop in the background that you guys don't really get to see. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about more later on today. We'll see about that though. Got to keep some stuff close to the chest still, of course, as always. Thank you, Brad. Love my summer logo. Thank you. Yeah, it's on the shirt too. Again, sell it on merch. You can pick it up in the store right now if you want your own. We've got those towels. We've got the fanny pack, which is my favorite, of course, too. The t-shirts, the tank tops, and the shorts, right? So yeah, all summer stuff that'll go away come September when it rolls around, like Labor Day time, something around there. Those of you who saw the email yesterday too, you saw what's in the update already too. And of course, I posted it earlier today on the Facebook group as well too for the community page for the update. Let me see if I can pull up my banner here. We'll get into that real quick too. Let's talk about that first and foremost, right? But yeah, here you go. So this is the 993 update is what I'm going to call it now, essentially. So it's 9.009.003. We do that for a reason, right? Software development. That's how things go, right? For naming conventions and what we do with our updates, right? So things that this fixes, right? This is the one that's going to fix. If you're seeing that, there's a few of you still seeing the, oh my gosh, exclamation point. That's a hard word for me to say for some reason today. The exclamation point Wi-Fi issue where it would sort of be connected to the server, but not really sort of. There was a couple different DNS pairing issues that we found, and we fixed those. We resolved those. So that should be up and working for you now. For those of you that saw that and were having issues with downloads from the game store and things like that, especially that were related to that. So that's in this fix. Let's see. Canada players can now connect to online alpha, right? So great. So everybody in Canada, my friends up in Canada, of course, it's still online alpha. There's still going to be problems. There's still things that we're working out. It's still tons of bugs that we're squashing every day right now here on the back end, especially, and other features that we're working to add into that online gameplay, of course. But Canada, I know it's been a struggle for some of you guys up there in the Great North. It's working now. So at least a lot better, right? So we tested it to death with some other Canadian brethren that we have here at the company and outside of it as well, too. So shout out to those guys for helping me out. Yes, Canada can now properly connect for online play, which is great. So I definitely would say if you're in Canada, try P2P over server. It might work a little bit better for you if you're hosting games or whoever's hosting you in the game, right? On top of that, with the online alpha, we do have that ever fun room locking feature, right? And let me see, third on my list here. There we go. I can point today, right? So yeah, so the room locking feature is now in. So if you are sitting there waiting for your buddy to hop on, you don't want anybody else to jump into your room, because I know that happens sometimes too. Yeah, you can password protect the room. So the moment that a room is created for the online lobby for whatever game that you're playing right now, once you create that room, you'll have the option of server P2P, and then you can also see a new option for room locking, right? So if you want to passcode protect that room, that just means that whoever's going to jump in, you have to give them your passcode, right? So it's set with the joystick and the buttons, whatever you set it to at that time right there. So up, down, left, right, A, B, whatever you want to set it to, it's up to you. You can do a short password, you can do a long password. It's up to 8 characters in that password, I believe. But yeah, it's all for the joystick and button combos that you're going to press, and you just give that to your buddy. They can log into the room then. So yep. So that's just more for a private match kind of thing, right? If you just want to sit there, you know, your buddy might not be on for a couple minutes and you just want to wait and have the room ready for them to go. That's it. So that's more for online stuff coming your way. And of course, always more online games that we keep doing too. And we'll get to that. The system keyboard layout, of course, is a big one too. So now you can actually enter the buttons with A, right? How it originally should have been to begin with, right? So yes, so that's there. B is going to be back, and then some other things. You'll notice different keyboards for different things, right? The login might be a little bit different than the Wi-Fi password and stuff like that too. But generally speaking, same keyboard, stuff like that too. It looks a little bit different too. Got a little bit of a UI fix on it too. A little bit of a facelift, I should say, on it, right? But yeah, so that's in there too for entering information and stuff into the system. Something sort of small, sort of big, but something that's been needed for a bit too that we added in. Let's see, improvements added for game download and install. Yeah, so those of you who are getting stuck on like game downloads and things like that, it should be resolved and working a lot better now, especially too. That's an ongoing process forever, honestly, probably with any console that's going to happen. So things that just get iterated over time. So it's just better and improved. That's all you really need to know on that one, right? So yeah, everything else was back-end fixes that you won't see for both the gold boards as well as the standard edition boards, right? They are two different boards. Yeah, like we've said before in the past, it's not just that it's a 2-in-1 board now on the gold. It is an entirely different board. So because of that, it has different pathing issues that we have for things like HDMI for that audio pathing as well too for JBL sound. It is a different board on the gold. So yes, there are some separations between them, but generally speaking, they'll be able to do the same things, right? So that's what we're doing with it. But yes, so we had to fix some things in there with this software update. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it for the 9.9.3 update for you. So there you go. And the next one you'll probably see is actually going to be the 9.10 version, 9.10.0, which I'm actually really excited for. Tons of stuff always coming for system updates. Of course, we're always going to keep improving the system. It's a console. It's an ever-growing thing, right? So this is what you get. Let me take down this banner real quick. Awesome. Any questions that I can take on the software update? Things that I've missed in the chat. I have not been watching quite yet. Let's see. Online rooms. Yeah. Cool. I'm glad you guys are liking it. Yeah. If there's no questions, we'll keep moving on. That's great. It's pretty standard update, right? Pretty straightforward, right? Nothing crazy in there. Nothing. There's some fun stuff, but nothing massive that needs questioning, I think, at least. Let's see. Was there a server issue today? There shouldn't be, no, but you should have both the options for server and P2P. Luckily, they're both there no matter what, right? So if server's missing for any reason, good to know. I can look into that, Ritual Delo. I will definitely look into that and see what's going on. But yeah, no, server should not be down right now. Yes, private lobbies. Cool. All right. Will you add online? Hollywood is asking. Michael, you spelled my name a little bit wrong. That's all right. I won't hate you for it forever. Will you add online matchmaking in the future? Who knows, right? There's a lot of features that we still want to add. Like I've said before, I would love to have sort of like a robust friends list and things and, ways for you to connect a little bit easier to the people that you're looking for or people you might not be looking for, right? So yes, those are, of course, things that we're going to continue to work on. Online is still in alpha. It's probably going to remain in alpha for a little while yet, probably at least until the fall. I would say it'll remain until the fall. But like I said, when it launched about 2 months ago, right? By the end of the summer, I'm looking to have a pretty robust online system with tons of different features for you. So, and maybe some other options that you aren't even thinking about or don't even know about coming in the near future, right? So always things being worked on in the back end, right? So yes, there you go. Gladware, yes. And yes, anybody who was seeing that weird issue with the connection with the little exclamation point. I don't know why I can't think of an exclamation point today and why I can't say the word, but yeah, it's resolved in this build. So it's been a couple weeks coming. It's been about 5 weeks, but yeah, that was a tricky one, especially when not everybody's hitting it. Software can be just a tricky monster sometimes. So, but it's working. We're glad it is. If it's not working, definitely let me know, but it should definitely be working for you. We tested that to death. All right. Otherwise, let's keep moving on right now too, right? Let's get to the games for today, right? It's game days. Let's talk about some games. Again, short and sweet today. Nothing too crazy going on here too. First game I'm going to talk about is going to be the ColecoVision game. It's been waited for a little while now too, huh? It's been about a year. So this is War Room, right? So War Room's kind of an interesting one, right? So I never had a ColecoVision growing up, right? So a little bit before me. So I didn't know this game too much. So I've played it a bunch now, which is great. But basically Cold War era kind of game, right? So War Room, if you've ever seen the movie War Room, kind of similar, right? So you do play as, I forget what your influential character, I don't know if you're the president, I guess you're the president of the US, but you're preventing basically a nuclear holocaust, essentially. Yeah. So that's pretty much the entire premise of War Room. You're trying to put out all these attacks on the United States of America, basically, too. That's pretty much it. It's a pretty cut and dry game, pretty simple, right? So I shouldn't say the gameplay itself is not super simple. It is very challenging, I can tell you that. It's got, classic old school Coleco vibes, right? So if you are into the ColecoVision games, here's another one for you. There you go. And then the other game, of course, that released today too, something that a lot of you might not have heard of, right? It's called Trigger Dungeon, right? So Trigger Dungeon is absolutely very triggering. It's the way the game is meant and intended to be played, basically, right? There's an easy mode, a medium mode, and a hard mode, but all of them are going to be very insanely difficult. This game is meant to kill you, right? So over and over and over again, you're going to die. You're going to learn. That's the entire point of the game, right? So if you There's a couple other games I can think of that are like this, but not any on our system quite yet, right? So this is the first of its kind on our system, which is great. But yeah, almost over 200 levels that you can play through, which is crazy. So tons and tons of content in this game too. Cute little artsy pixel bit art style, which is awesome. But then of course the character makes this crazy little death sound too, like a squeaker toy kind of thing, I would say. So yeah, you'll see it in the attract mode, and of course you'll see it in the game. But yes, this game is meant to just kill you over and over and over again. You can see that timer at the top right there too, along with your death counter. Those are very important. That's how you're going to be placed on, high scoreboards and stuff within the game. So there you go. This is Trigger Dungeon. I think $3.99 for both games. Pick them up today if you're interested. Yeah. So that's what's coming to you as far as the new games today. For online games as well too, of course, we did, let's see, the Combo Tribes, which I know a lot of you have been waiting for, which is great. It's a fantastic beat 'em up. If you're looking for more online beat 'em ups, play with your buddies and stuff, the Combo Tribes is a great one. We've got Karnav's Revenge on the system too, another fantastic fighter. Tons of cool characters, tons of cool sounds, tons of cool gameplay, a lot of combo moves and things like that as well too. So that's also there. And then our third one today, of course, is eluding my memory. I will think of it if somebody sees in the chat. I swear my brain does not work on Fridays. I don't know what happens to me when the camera turns on, but here we are, right? But there is a third game in the mix today. Let me find it real quick on the store. I'll tell you right quick and in a hurry. There we go. Big Striker, soccer, right? I didn't think about it. We got another football game. Football for my UK fans, soccer for us in the US, right? So yes. So Big Striker is also available today. And on top of that, Goal has also been available if you're looking for another online soccer game. So there you go. So those are the 3 online titles today. I did also want to cover a little bit more of the online features, right? So with, more features getting rolled out today and stuff like that too. Let me see here. What have I got going on in the chat too? Any questions about the games that I missed? Let me see here. Yes, the game could be called Just Frustrate the Heck Out of You, 100%. I see that in the chat. Yes, that's why it's called Trigger Dungeon, right? It's meant to trigger you, not just that there's triggers in the dungeon, but it's going to trigger you. Let's see. Have I beaten War Room? I have not beaten War Room. My QA team has beaten War Room. I have not beaten War Room quite yet, too. Sometimes I get to beat the games. Not always, though. All right. What else have I missed in this chat here, too? Just scrolling through real quick. Let's see. Yeah, Trigger Dungeon's not the game for everybody, 100%. Either is War Room, honestly, right? But they are some fun games too, and some people do like them. I am like a masochist in my games. I like a good hard challenge in my games, so Trigger Dungeon's right up my alley. It's very frustrating, but I enjoy it. I don't know. All right, cool. Covered enough questions and things it looks like then too. Sweet, moving right along, right? Not a lot of questions today. Totally understand. So something else I wanted to go over, right? So let's show off this quick list real quick too. So there's almost 40 games now online, which is great for online alpha. So here you go. In case you want to screenshot this later, I've also clearly got it scrolling along the bottom of the screen this entire time too, in case you're looking for the titles in this list here. They're all at the bottom of my screen. I'll keep them this whole episode, which is great. But yeah, here's your current list of online games. So I'm not going to go through them all. We've been over them all before a little bit too when they've released and stuff. But yeah, here, screenshot this if you want. So these are all the current available titles online. So if you're looking to pick anything up, a little bit of an easier way to list them, here you go. And again, they're right here at the bottom of my screen this whole episode, so I'll keep that up, scrolling the entire time. So if anything strikes your fancy that you don't have or don't know that was online, there you go, right? Tons and tons of variety now, too. We've got fighters, we've got shoot 'em ups, we've got, oh man, classic arcade kind of style games, we got beat 'em ups, we've got, man, everything. Puzzlers and stuff. We got a good variety of everything, too. Sports games, of course, too. Basketball, baseball, right? Online baseball. And of course, the ever-requested racing, because everybody in the home arcade, space wanted online racing, right? So we've got 8-player Riptide GP Renegade online racing. It's still available for you right now. So that game is great. Pick it up today if you haven't yet. It's one of my favorite games on the system. But yeah, so everybody always asks for racing. We've already got it. So there you go, online racer. Let's see here. Let's see. Prince Malcolm asks, we sort of went over this a little bit. I see that there's an update for both the standard and gold editions. Does this mean that we'll get to see the gold editions really, really soon in our homes? Hopefully. Yeah. So in case some of you saw that email blast, yes, we've started shipping out from Korea. There's a caveat there. They're shipping from Korea starting about now, right? So if they haven't left today, very soon. They're getting to the ports. We're doing small batches first, and it'll ramp up from there too, right? So my wall's like falling apart behind me if you hear that. It's fine. I'll fix that later. But yeah, so shipments will start leaving Korea very soon for golds. Yeah, so stay tuned on those too. We're still looking at probably about, we'll see. We'll see how long it really takes, honestly, too. It's hard for me to judge with shipping lanes of the world. I have no idea. Honestly, we're not a shipping company. It's not what we do. But yes, small containers first. Batches of about 20 or so will kind of leave like periodically throughout the week, and then you'll get batches of like 100, and then we'll keep escalating from there too. That's kind of how we roll out these things. Just whenever we find the right space in the right containers, instead of having to buy our own containers. That's how we're working a little bit differently this time, which is great, until we get to our own containers again, right? That's kind of how it goes inevitably, no matter what. So yeah, so gold cabs will arrive still. We're still shooting for within the summer timeframe, right? So some of you maybe as early as, a couple weeks from now, like July. Some of you in early August, some of you in late August. That's probably about right. So yep. Anybody who already was in the pre-order of gold cabs already for the pre-order pricing, I should say, yeah, they're being made. They're being shipped right now. Yep. Let's see here. All right. Tony Stark's asking question on Tengai. The accessibility buttons function the same as the A and B buttons. Do I need to do anything to activate those? Nope. No, as long as you have the most updated version of the game for Tengai, yeah. You'll see that accessibility is option on the instruction screen for the game. As long as that's there, yeah. As long as you have that, and then the accessibility option actually checked on in your accessibility options in these settings, right? So you go to settings, accessibility, it'll be right there, rapid fire. Still a bug in for that too. I know that it lists it improperly. It just is kind of always checked right now too. Something is still to squash. Make sure that you actually go into that setting and turn it to on, right? So set that to yes, and then it'll actually be in there once you launch Tengai. Yeah, if it's, sometimes we separate the buttons, sometimes we don't. It depends on the game. With a game like Tengai, if it's not separated, that just means that it has no auto fire or press and hold feature within it. So we didn't have to separate the buttons. So you can just use it like normal, right? Except that with the accessibility feature is on for rapid fire, it fires at a proper rate that you can play the game, right? Good question. I like my accessibility questions, especially. All these extra features that we put in there, they're for all you guys because you request them all the time. So there you go. Yes. Let's see. Other questions I might have missed in the chat here. Which design shipped first? They're all shipping at the same time, actually. There's no separation within the designs. They're all kind of going out around the same time. Yep. Yeah, you'll expect to see gold editions of Dead Cells, Space Invaders, Dragon's Lair, and Black Edition all kind of hitting homes around the same time. Yeah, there shouldn't be really too much of a separation between each SKU. Yep. So no matter which one you got, it's about the same. Yep. That also being said, if you are within the first 100 or so orders, right? So you'll probably see an email probably from me next week. So if you are within the orders, you guys don't even know yet, but if you think you are, there you go. Keep an eye out for an email from us next week because I'll be sending one out for sure to get your hoodies, your shirts, as well as your signed plates from Zhang too. Yes, those will all be going out soon, and I'll start getting info from you very shortly. Let's see here. Other questions that I've missed. Let's see. The Zhang signed the first 100 gold cabs. Yeah, so he doesn't sign the physical cabs themselves too. We signed physical placards. That's what they are too. Those of you who saw the Kickstarter, they went out with Kickstarter as well too. They're the same as those, or they look about the same, right? They're the same kind of thing. A lot of people tend to put them on the bottom faceplate right here. You can't see my hand because this is blocking it. But yes, a lot of people put the little plaques about down here somewhere or left or right side usually. It's typical. Yep. It is. It fits properly right about there. Yep. So if you are getting a signed placard, there you go. Let's see here. All right, question. Backward Bob. I like that name a lot. Backward Bob's asking, Dodo. I think I heard about download content in the future. Can you confirm that? Yes, 100%. We've talked about that before on the show too. But yeah, there was actually an update already for the game this week, by the way, for Dodo. I think I actually have an image for that. Let me see here. Yeah, I do. So we can talk about this a little bit too. So Dodo did get an update. It's the 1.15 update is what you're looking for. So if you're not on that, let the game update. There you go. That's just general bug fixes and things like that, balancing through the games, along with an options menu Here you go. An options menu now, which also includes different CRT modes, which is awesome. This is actually showing off the burned, which is the most warped on there too. So in case you're looking for that really, really classic style, it's got it. Plus, of course, you've got some other settings in there too. You can turn off that screen flashing if it bugs you, the screen shake. CRT filter you can turn entirely off as well too if you want to play the game in its natural modern state. You can also reset your scoreboards, your local ones. And what you're referring to backward, Bob, is the global leaderboards. Yes, there are still global leaderboards and a daily challenge. That's going to cycle through the server and stuff. That's coming very soon. I can't exactly say a date on that, but it is currently being worked on. Probably in the upcoming weeks, though. You can expect to see that out too. The developer at pixel.lu is working crazy around the clock all the time too. He's a great guy. Talk to him almost daily at this point too. But yeah, so that update is confirmed. They will be cross-platform leaderboards as well too. So the leaderboards that you'll see for the global leaderboards for Dodo will be cross-platform. So people from Steam and other platforms like that too, you'll be competing against them, which is awesome. So there you go. I can 100% confirm that. That's correct. Can you meet the boat halfway in the ocean? I mean, you can try. If you got the money to go there, go for it. You know what? But I have no idea what the boat number is, what the name of the boat is. I hope the boats are all named, right? They still name boats for shipping containers, right? I hope so. I hope they have some fun names. Okay. CCC. Let me see here. Can I meet? No. Okay, went over that question. Sorry, I'm just going through the chat. I get a lot too. Remember, I got YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch all actually feed into me, which is, so I see a lot more questions than you guys do on each of the individual streams too, which is crazy. Let's see. Can I push to get the online? So Rachel Adele is asking, can you push to get an online enabled category in the store? Yeah, it's actually coming very soon. It is something, at least a search feature for online. Yeah, so you can just go to the search function, type in online, or just tick the filter box and go to online. Yeah, that's coming very soon. Hopefully next week. Yes, we know better and other better features for finding online games too. Those are going to be coming very shortly as well. But yes, we're well aware. And there's some other features for online that are coming very soon as well too, that are just working on, right? So yes, whenever you get a down. So I know that it seems like we may be in like a little bit of a drought a little bit, right? For your really big marquee kind of games, right? So we know that, we're aware. We're working on a ton of things in the background that you guys never see, right? So while you don't see those games being released quite yet, and we can't really talk about those games quite yet, you do get a lot of system updates, hardware features and stuff. That's what the announcements get, right? So they kind of fill that void a little bit too. So it kind of goes, it's a little bit of back and forth, right? So keep in mind that we do other things on the back end that you guys have no idea even go on to. Besides software development, things like the developer portal to actually have our developers be able to develop for our console, right? That's a huge undertaking. It's a massive thing. It's a financial burden as well too, but it's something that we need because we're a console, right? So that's been a thing that's been ongoing for months for me personally and some of our other team members, right? So that is something that's in development that you'll probably never see, but our developers will see it, and it's a very big thing. It takes time. So yeah, keep in mind that you might not see all the things going on backstage here. So just as a reminder, we do work around the clock. It's pretty crazy over here. More games are coming soon. More game announcements are coming soon, of course, too. But yes, in the meantime, you'll see a lot of software updates, things like that, especially with online, of course, this year. Online's a big feature for this year. Let's see. Can't talk about games that I can't talk about yet. Let me see what this question is, because this is an interesting one here. Alpha Trion 92. All right. Always with the transformer picture, and I love it. With the gold cabs, you guys aren't doing a bait and switch with the monitors like another company? No. The monitors that you see in the gold are the same ones that you'll see in standard editions as well too. Yes, we have not changed the monitors. That one's not a hardware change for us. The board that's mounted on the back of it, yes, that is a very major hardware change for us. The monitor itself is the exact same one. Yep. We've had some monitor issues, of course, too. We do replace defective monitors. We try to keep that as little as possible, of course. Sometimes it just happens. It's a natural process of the thing too. We never know what happens in shipping, honestly, too. Sometimes boards get wrecked in shipping. Even there's a board on the back of the monitor, by the way, too. It has its own motherboard, right? So keep that in mind. But yeah, we replace those pretty often. I shouldn't say like super often, but like as much as we need to. Yes, if you're on a warranty claim, that we do cover those too. Yep. If you ever have any major issues with the monitor. But yeah, generally speaking, they come out pretty good, and we're totally happy with it too. Viewing angles are fine. Keep in mind that the angle of our monitor, how it sits in there, we played around a lot with that, especially in the beginning days, right? So that's actually changed a little bit over time, which you might not notice. But yes, That's a very important factor for a monitor, especially an arcade style monitor. Things like that we do keep in mind, and we're always looking to improve that though. Yep. Monitor is a very big cost actually to the system, which is crazy to think about nowadays, right? But yeah, these are very specific monitors. They're a little costly. Pixel.lu is actually the name of Pixel Games. Yes, pixel.lu. All right. What is this? Why waste times on bad games? These aren't bad games. There's never a bad game. There's games that are good and games that are, just their own thing too, right? I will defend games till the day I die because I'm a game designer, right? Every game has a good purpose. That's why. And just because you don't know that a game is good or bad doesn't make it good or bad either, right? So just because we have a game title that you might have not heard before, right? Doesn't mean it's a bad game. You just might not have heard of it before, right? That's how it goes. Roga Armor Force is a great underrated game. See, there you go. That's one right there too. I agree actually too. I actually like Roga Armor Force. If you guys don't know what Roga Armor Force is, if you haven't seen me talk about it before, Roga Armor Force is like a big robot kind of game too. You play as these like tank kind of robot things. They've got like 4 legs. I don't even know how else to describe them. They're like robots, but not robots. Yeah, I like the game a lot. It's a side-scrolling shooter platformer kind of thing too. Action game. Yeah. You'll never get Zhang Pong right now. I'm going to keep, every time somebody asks about Zhang Pong, I delay Zhang Pong even more too. I'm going to keep that game as a meme for a long time, even though it exists, which is really funny. Technically speaking, I can play it right now too. It's not going to get a public release right now. No, I have other games that I have to work on right now is the thing, right? So I still do develop games for our system, and I do help develop porting games there, I should say. I do help port games onto our system as well as develop my own games for our system. Yes. And you might see those maybe later on this year. All right. Otherwise, that's pretty much it, right? No other major questions for the day. That's it. It's been about a half an hour. That's kind of all I planned on for today. There's no other major news besides the system update, which is a huge thing for us, right? System updates we have to monitor a lot. It's a big deal. Every time that we release them, we have to monitor so many things on the back end. But yeah, so system update was big for us today, 9009003. So 993 is really what I'm going to call it. That's the update that you want to be on. If not, let your system update fix a lot of those issues that you've seen. If you were having any, at least for Wi-Fi especially. And then, of course, our Canada brothers up there too. Canada brothers and sisters too, right? Canada, everybody up in Canada. I should just say, yeah, you can connect properly for online play now, which is great. So I'm excited for that. It's been a long time coming on that too. It's been a lot to fix that, which is weird, right? It wouldn't seem like it would be. It is. When are we getting? You can't ask about your own game. You can tell me when your game's coming out. That's about it, right? Let's see here. All right, now I get more questions. Of course, I get more questions when I'm trying to wrap it up, huh? Game updates, are they automatic? Yeah, so game update is something that's always an improving feature for us too, right? I know that sometimes it's a struggle. I'm sorry, I'm going to drink some of my coffee here because I'm not awake enough. So game updates, you don't have to go to the store or anything like that to look for a game update. Really, ultimately, what's going to happen is you have the game on your machine, right? So say I've got a game like Gunbird, right? So if Gunbird gets an update, I go to the game, I go to launch the game. Before you hit that instruction screen, so right when you press A, before it shows the controllers and stuff like that, you're going to see a little update prompt that says, hey, a new update's available. Do you want to update? Yes or no? In some instances, we do forced updates for a game, which means that you can't actually play it until you update the game. Certain reasons, it's very rare that we do that. But we do have that feature in. So sometimes you might not actually see that option to say yes or no. So just as a heads up on that one, it's pretty rare. I think we've done that one time so far, ultimately in the past year and a half since the store's been out. But yeah, otherwise you just go to launch the game, should prompt you with an update, says, hey, it's update. And then that's it. You'll see it kind of do its little download and install kind of thing again. And then that's it. You're good to go. That's how updates work for games. With updates for the system itself too, updates for the system, you just have to power cycle it. Once it cycles back on, connects to the internet right then too, you'll see an update prompt that says, hey, this update's available. In this case, it's going to be 9003 or 9009003. And then just update to it, let it run. That's it. If you do happen to lose power or something, or somehow the cat hit the power button, right? These weighted power buttons on the one that you see behind me, they're pretty heavy. Usually most people can't turn these off, but I know the older standard models, a little bit light on the button for the power button. So in case it does get turned off during an update, no worries. We put backend features in for a reason too, to catch those kind of things too. So you're not going to like bork your system if that happens, right? It'll essentially just revert back to what it was, and then the update will kick in again. That's how that goes. So no worries if you do power cycle during an update. I don't recommend it. However, we do have features in place on the back end to help you recover from that. It shouldn't cause any issues. Yes. Nope, I can't talk about games I can't talk about right now. We've been over this. Will you put your game store on the Apple Store? No, we're not actually on Google Play either. The reason for that is because we are a console, and when you have a market that sells a digital medium, right, they essentially take a cut of that, right? So there's no reason for us to do that, essentially. Now we have our own online game store. So why would I pay somebody else when I'm doing all the work? Does that make sense? Yeah, that's why. We'll see. There's no plans currently to have us on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. I'll put it that way for now. Just how it is. But if you are on an Android device specifically, you just have to type in iiRcade.store. That will always bring you to the store, even on a web browser or on an Apple anything too. That'll always bring you to the stores. iiRcade.store. That's the really easy way to remember it. That's what I use. But if you do type that in on an Android device, it will automatically prompt you to install the app. You don't have to do that, but that's how you do it for an Android device. The reason we can't do that on Apple is because Apple limits you. You can't do installs that way on an Apple product. That's just how it goes. They always want you to go through the Apple Store specifically. Yes. There's reasons for that. I mean, you can get malicious software and things like that in there. So it is not a bad thing by any means necessarily. It's just Google allows a little bit more of an open network too. It will prompt you. It'll say like, hey, are you sure this is not malware or things like that? Yes. But yes, if you go to iiRcade.store on an Android device, you'll be okay. It'll just install the app like any other thing. Let me see here. It's a great question from Moat. All right, Michael of All Trades asking, any plans to ship accessories in the future that work in conjunction with the iiRcade Gold in bundle or separately? So likely at first, at least, what you're going to see, because again, we're not the ones manufacturing hardware. These are going to be third-party vendors like Lens Retro Show, right? So GRS products that will be made, tuned specifically for iiRcades. They'll be selling them. They'll be on our website when they're available for sure. And then I'll link you probably straight to his website so that you can buy direct through them because we want to support them as much as possible too. We are not hardware manufacturing any of that actual accessory hardware currently, right? So because of that, you probably won't see any bundle right away, at least, right? So when these do start coming into fruition in the market and stuff like that too, again, likely about fall this year is when you'll start seeing those accessories really kick in and we'll really start showing off different games and accessories that work in tandem together, right? So that's when we'll really kick into that. But yeah, do we have any plans to sell the cabinets themselves with accessories? Not currently, at least not right away, right? So there you go. He said we don't need Apple to get involved in this. Yeah, it's okay. Apple's a fine company. Okay, any other questions? Yeah. But yeah, so those of you looking for accessories though, and accessories game related things as well too, look for that a little later this year too. Yeah, of course, I'd love for that stuff to be hitting homes right around the same time as Golds. We'll see, right? So maybe end of summer. Can't make any promises right now. I would say expect more towards the fall, right? Hardware development does take a little bit of time as well as software development. So we do have to go in at like a kernel and driver level into the boards to access and enable some of these extra accessories to keep that in mind. That's deep level firmware stuff there, right? So we got to make sure that doesn't really mess with our board too much either. So because of that, we have to be very safe with it. We have to be very adamant that it's not doing anything weird. So we've already got a lot of that stuff in place already too. That's why when we showed you all that it was working, that just general prototype just to show that it was working, that's kind of why we did that, because a lot of people who do work in software know that that's kind of, 90% of the battle, honestly, is getting that stuff to work properly. So that's why we showed that off. But yes, you haven't actually seen any accessories that are going to look the way that they're actually going to look when they attach to the system, or if they, do some other things, right? Yes, we haven't shown any of that off yet. So stay tuned on that kind of stuff. We're going to have some fun this year. Like we said, it's going to be a big year for iiRcade. Holding to that, it's just, takes a little bit of time. But in the meantime, online's rolling steady still, which is great too. I'm glad with that. Still a steady stream of game releases too, and still more to come. Of course, always software updates too. So yes, I know, just because it seems like we don't have necessarily the big game titles that you're looking for right now, right? That we haven't announced any new ones, I should say, right? Of course, we got, Double Dragon, Dragon's Lair, our staples, of course, too. And of course, games like R-Type, Night Slashers. I mean, Goal is technically a big game for me too for soccer, but that's a personal thing, right? Too. Karate Champ, or not Karate Champ too, but Kung Fu Master more so as well too. All those IRM games, all those title games, Space Invaders still coming your way too. Space Invaders Infinity Gene, yes, those are still coming as well too this year, of course. But yeah, those are still, the rest of them currently available on the system too. But I know when you don't see those games, you get a little worried, right? Those bigger titles. We know, totally aware of that too. I just can't talk about anything else coming right now. Of course, stay tuned. This is a big year for us too. I'm very excited. And in the meantime, what we do is we give you fantastic features for software, improvements for the online, right? Improvements for software, improvements for things like hardware, right? It gives us a little bit more time to play around with that while we have developers going in and making games for our console, right? So keep that in mind. There's always something going on in the background that you don't know about. Guarantee it. Not that we're trying to just maliciously hide something from you, so don't take it that way either. It's just that we have to wait until things are fully fleshed out a little bit to a certain extent to where we can show them off to you. Namco games. I see you. I see you, Dragon. Don't you worry. Space Invaders. Yes. Space Invaders is still coming. It's not dropping today, though. I'm so sorry, unfortunately. Just so happened that Zhang had that Space Invaders beer in Toronto last week. Or this week, right? So that just by happenstance. Those of you who are getting Space Invader Gold Cabs, yes, though, that does come with Space Invaders included. So there you go. Did I announce? Mark's asking, may have missed a prior question. Did you guys announce who won the pre-order raffle? I think he picked number 3. Yes. If you did watch, a month and a half ago, right? Somewhere around there too. Zhang did on the stream too. He said out of the first 100 pre-orders, right? For the golden ticket is what we're talking about here. You notice the golden ticket, somebody is getting flown out to Chicago for Game and Brew Night. So yes, and a lot of you are going to be invited to Game and Brew Night, which is going to be awesome. That would be more towards, again, end of the summer. We'll talk about that in the upcoming weeks very shortly. Yes, because that's part of my job is party planning too, right? So yes, but because of that, yes, they picked on a spin wheel. So it's even more randomized so that we don't even know who it is, right? Number 3. So the number 3 pre-order is... Stay tuned on that one. I'm not giving it to you today. But don't worry. It's actually going to, you'll probably know by probably next week, honestly, too. Again, those of you who think that you're within the first 100 pre-orders, too, I'm going to send out that email next week. So I need some info from you, like shirt sizes, right? I don't have your shirt sizes on record because iiRcade doesn't ask for your shirt sizes, but maybe we should. I don't know. Maybe we should just ask your apparel sizes so that we can just give you free stuff sometimes, right? But yeah, you'll find out very soon who won the golden ticket. Don't you worry. All right. If you're talking about bigger title games, again, look around at the store. There's hundreds of titles on the store. Just because you don't know a game exists doesn't mean it's a bad game. I actually didn't even know Night Slashers exists. Now it's one of my favorite arcade games. Weirdly enough, right? Yes, I know there's other game requests. Don't you worry. Plenty of games coming later on this year too. Just nothing I can talk about today. Okay. Are there 3D games coming? Yeah, of course there's 3D games coming. We do both 2D and 3D games. All right. Any other pressing questions? Let me see in my chat here. Let me see. No, not too much. Not too much. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait. Here we go. Were there more than... I can give this information out probably. Yeah. Yeah, I'll say yeah. Were there more than 100 pre-orders at the order price? Yes. So the pre-order price? Yes. Yeah. I think we hit over the first 100 well within the first day. Yes. Yes. And again, I know Zhang posted that only like 20 were in the first batch or whatever for gold that are coming like sailing over right now too. Yes. It's like 20 is in a consistent basis at that point too, and then ramped up from there into the hundreds and past that, right? For gold. So yes, don't worry if you don't think you're within that first couple hundred orders and stuff like that too, you'll still, when I say that you'll be getting your gold editions before the end of summer kind of thing too. Yes, that's anybody who was in that pre-order price, who got it at that $7.99 price, that $200 off, you're within that group that I'm talking about. Yes. So no worries on that too. Even if you're in like a later shipment, you might be a little bit later in the year a little bit, right? So, but yes, we're still trying to get them all here before the end of the summer, maybe potentially September. Again, I don't control shipping lanes in the world, but yes, we're still trying to get them all here before the end of the summer for you. Yep. And if not, pretty close to that right after early September, right? Let's see here. All right. I think that's about it. We'll probably call it there for a day, honestly, right? Nothing else crazy to talk about. I don't see any other pressing questions right now, too. When do I predict more skin? I'll end on this one. I'll take this as the last question for my day today, right? Nooner's asking, when do you predict more skins beyond the current 4 for the gold cabs? Late summer or by fall? You know what? I have no prediction on that. For now, you have those 4. Will there be more? Maybe. Will there not be more? Maybe. I don't really know, right? So who knows? Who knows what else we got cooking up behind the scenes here, right? So stay tuned on that one. I wouldn't be waiting for a specific skin if that's what you're doing, right? My suggestion is get the black edition. You can always go to a third party, skin it the way that you want to skin it too. That's the point of the black edition cab. So yes, those are available still for pre-order too at the actual pre-order price too. They're no longer $200 off. But anybody who is still looking to pre-order gold cab, yes, they're kind of on back order a little bit now. We're getting in the pre-orders that were in time for like the initial pre-order sale, really is what it was. We'll get those in first and foremost before anything else. So if you are ordering at the full price now, if you did miss the original sale and you're still looking to buy one, they are available, but just keep in mind that they might be a little bit later in the year, more towards the fall. All right. But yeah, if you are waiting on any specific skin, there's none that I can tell you that are coming now. So I would say pick up a black, skin it yourself, paint it yourself, do what I do, right? Have some fun, make it an art project. I don't know why, tons of modders in the community, but nobody paints. Why does nobody paint half the time? I feel like that's a rare thing. I feel like more of you can paint. I feel like more of you are more artistic than just hammering and nails kind of stuff, All right. And with that, I will play you all out with, let's see here. I don't know. Let's go. Let's go with the attract mode for today, right? I like this attract mode too. Have some fun. Till then, enjoy your weekend. I hope you actually have a weekend. You're not working. Happy Friday. I hope you're all off work already too. If you're sitting here watching me, if you're still at work, maybe get back to work, but I don't know. I'm not going to judge you. Until then, I'll see you all next week. Have a good night.